Good evening, this is Dr. Bonsai at Dr. Bonsai's Beam Emporium, and tonight I have something kind of interesting for you. I have the Battlefield Support Battle and Fire Lances. Now, the way that Catalyst has done these, chosen to do these vehicle units, is you get two at a clip, as opposed to just like 4 vehicles in the box. Which, personally, with vehicles, I think that's a better move because vehicles are much more crunchy than Battletech, than Battle Mechs rather. They pop a lot easier. They can have a lot more things go wrong in Total Warfare. Same thing with Alpha Strike. But they've also put out the Battlefield Support rules to kind of take a lot of the bookkeeping out of vehicle deployment in Total Warfare, and to a lesser extent Alpha Strike, although I really don't need that in Alpha Strike. So they created the Battlefield Support rules that make it much more streamlined. It's basically allows you to deploy a lot of vehicles in your games of Battletech without bogging the game down with a full record sheet for the vehicle. So I have yet to play those rules because either my local group is playing like full record sheet Total Warfare, or we're playing Alpha Strike. We're not messing with the Battlefield Support rules yet. So in this box you get 8 miniatures, you get 8 Battlefield Support cards, 8 Alpha Strike cards. Now there's a couple of things in here that I'll point out. One is that all of these tanks are used by pretty much every inner sphere periphery power in the setting. You can't swing a dead cat without having somebody using one of these. So I'm not concerned about where am I going to slot these in. I'll figure something out. So there's that. So we've got, of course, the paperwork. So you get the LRM carrier. So these are the Battlefield Support cards. So you have 2 different versions, and those are for 2 different skill levels. This is how you sort their damage out, which is basically 3 damage groups of 10, and then a destroy check. So this is all part of the process of using these in Battlefield Support. So you get that. You get the version Sling and Arrow 4. And then you get standard LRM carrier, Clan Tech LRM carrier, 3054 SRM carrier. Yeah, note. So no turret. I've got beef with this already. So we'll come back to that. So you get the standard SRM carrier and the clan SRM carrier. Then you have the 2 different iterations of Vedette. Then all the art on these cards are really colorful. So all right, there you go. So that's your Battlefield Support cards. Next, you have your Alpha Strike cards. So, of course, obviously, you have your Arrow 4 carrier. You have your LRM carrier. You have your Clan Tech LRM carrier. You have your standard LRM carrier. You have your C3 C3 slave. So it's actually slave to a C3 master. And then you have the 3054, which is actually shoots has a narc. Uses the narc to guide the missiles in. And you have the clan SRM carrier, and you have the standard SRM carrier. You have the standard Vedette, or the cell-based Vedette, which is faster, slightly punchier. And then you have the UAC Ultra AC, I believe it's an Ultra AC 5 Vedette. And then you have the standard Vedette, and you have the up-armored iteration, and then you have the Manticore with the heavy PPC, C3 Slave, XL Manticore, and the standard Manticore. So that's all your paperwork. So let's get down to the vehicles. So, something that I don't know that I adequately got across when I unboxed my Mercenaries box, the actual big box with the 8 mechs and the 4 vehicles. I don't know that what I actually got across sufficiently was the fact that these turrets do kind of pop off. So let's start with the Manticore here. It looks lovely. The turret spins freely. And when you pop it off, you can pop it off really easily. It is a ball and socket, which is actually brilliant because it's not a peg. Because I've actually played Flames of War, where if you don't magnetize the turrets on your tanks, they come with a little peg, which is fine for just keeping them on the table. But as soon as you pick them up, the turret just falls off because there's nothing holding it together other than friction. This is a friction fit, but at the same time, this already feels more robust, and especially if you get like a thin coat of primer in the socket and on the ball there, on the ball joint, then that should add some extra thickness. So there's that. One trick I've actually heard is that if you have something like this and you don't want to paint it, you take some gloss varnish and you just add layer after layer after layer after layer until it's sufficiently thickened up that it's. So if these others start going like loosey-goosey on you, that's why. I really like what they did with this iteration of the tank. All the guns are present and correct. The turret looks like some kind of crazy ERA monster from like current year. Yeah, looks mint. So you get 2 of those because vehicle lances you buy them in pairs. So, and then you have the other half of what do they call this? The Battle Lance is the Vedette. So you have the Vedette here. It has a machine gun in the bow and the cannon in the top and exhaust pipes. Generally a funky looking little tank. I never got my head around the Iron Wind metal sculpt because I just couldn't, I couldn't figure out how that was made to work. But this actually makes a little bit more sense to me. So again, that demonstrating that ball and socket. Probably don't. Yeah, so you're kind of working around. So probably don't try to spin it by the gun barrel because it flexes, which is the advantage of this material. But eventually it might go wobbly. So just do that. So you get a pair of these little fellas, and then you get kind of the big show for me. Ironically, somewhat, the big get in this box set are actually the humble LRM carriers. So you have, there's really these things come in 2 components. So let me try to work that off. So you get the base carrier, which doesn't pop off the base. So it's basically this very utilitarian armored tractor, right? So that's the key thing. And then you get 2 separate turrets. You get the LRM turret, which is the 3 LRM-20s. Plus all the vents in the back for the back blast. And then you get the SRM-6 turret, which is 5 SRM-6s, which is bad day for anybody that gets on the wrong end of that. And the beauty of these is that they fit on both turrets. Fit on both. So if you want to, you can run like a full lance of LRM carriers. Just that quickly. So, or if you really want to ruin somebody's day. And pop all those off. Just boop. So there you go. And now you have 4 extremely short-ranged but bad news deliverers. And of course, you can do any iteration, any mix, and anywhere in between, because that's kind of the point of this box, is so you can do that. I bought this from Aries Games and Miniatures, not sponsored. The retail price on this was $39.99. His price was $29.99. I think his price is right in the slot. I think that if you're paying full retail for this box set, I don't know that I would pay that, because although I think the utility is there, especially when it comes to the SRM and LRM carriers, I think the case could easily be made that's a good deal. However, I do not think that it's worth $40 retail. I think if you can get these for $30 retail, like I said, I would go Aries Games and Miniatures, because he's got a lot of this stuff in stock right now, or your local game store that usually is doing discounts. You can do that, but don't buy it at $40. Buy it at $30, because I feel like $30 is a proper price for. Well, that was silly. My phone ran out of storage, so let me wrap this up by saying this is a useful utility purchase, especially if you're DM running campaigns and you need some pirate, militia, generic dog's body type guys just to soak some hits. Highly recommended, and I highly recommend getting it from Aries, because, like I said, not sponsored, but great to do business with as always. And I hope you guys have a great evening. Have a good one.